Welcome to the CX universe. We're talking about how your company has a zodiac sign and what it's telling you.
Hi, I'm Ellie, the founder of Sage Strategy Group. And I started this company because I really love CX. Like, really love CX. So much so that I make my own buttons. And for every episode, I will wear a new one. Today's CXy pin is I want to CX you up. And I'm wearing it today because I'm serving a really, really big CX energy and I needed a pin that matched the vibes. So let's get into why you're here today. I said that your company has a zodiac sign, and I meant it. Your company has a zodiac sign. And before you click off, no, I'm not talking about astrology. I'm talking about this. Every company operates inside an environment, and that environment has predictable patterns in how your team works, and how your customers behave, and patterns in how your revenue leaks. You've seen it before, but you probably just never really had the language for it. Well, me neither. So I built a system to name those patterns and I grouped them into 12 different archetypes, your zodiac signs, and mapped them across 4 different environments. So once you understand which environment you're in and which archetype you're operating as, everything starts to make sense, especially why your support team is overwhelmed, why your customers are churning when they shouldn't, and why you as leadership feel like you're making the right decisions, but the outcomes just aren't matching up to your expectations. And honestly, this whole mapping patterns is something that I've been doing since before I started my career. Growing up, I was obsessed with Roller Coaster Tycoon. I would build my park over and over and over until my guest happiness hit 90%. And I would rebuild just because I wasn't hitting that target. And I didn't realize it then, but I was learning customer experience systems. And I was also learning that if one ride was broken, then the guest left. If the parks and the paths were confusing, then the guest got frustrated. And if the system itself wasn't designed right, no amount of effort, no ride, no attraction, no shop that I could bring in could save my park. And years later, working inside large companies like X and supporting accounts tied to the Walt Disney Company, I realized something. We're all running parks. Every company is just like one of these roller coaster tycoon parks, except these are real customers. And from the outside, it just kept looking like we're solving different problems, different outages, different churn rates, confused users, overwhelmed support team. But on the inside, working for these companies, everything felt the same. And it's because they were creating environments, and that's what we were working in, these same 4 environments. And that's when I stopped asking, what's going on? Why is this wrong? Why is my job so hard? And I started asking, what environment is this company operating in? And over time, I began to map them. And I call it the CX universe. So, this is the CX Universe podcast, but the CX Universe itself is a business framework that helps companies understand what game you're playing in the customer experience realm. And also gives you tools and tricks on how to win it. These companies enter through a quiz or content like this and receive an archetype, and then for a select few clients, we provide deeper diagnosis and advisory to improve that performance. And here's how it works. First, we start with awareness. And that's what this podcast is. This is a way for you to start seeing that your company's customer experience issues aren't random, they're patterned. And then step 2 is the diagnosis. we're going to figure out where your company actually exists. We're going to name the environment that it's working in, and we're going to define the archetype and see where it's operating. Step 3 is alignment. We are going to fix the environment that your company is actually working in so that you can function like what I call a golden engine. So when I say that your company has a zodiac sign, what I mean is you are operating in one of these 4 archetypes, and it's predicting in one of these 4 environments and one of these 12 archetypes, and it's predicting your outcomes whether you like it or not. You don't wake up and decide to be a leaky bucket. You build into it. You hire into it. You scale into this type of archetype. Now, here's how every episode is going to go. Each episode is one archetype, and I'm going to break it down the same way every time. First, we're going to take a look inside the company, and we're going to see what the support team and then is experiencing and what the leadership thinks is happening. And then finally, we're going to take a look into how the customers are actually feeling, because surprisingly, sometimes these are different realities. Then I'll give you a real world example, some company that you'll recognize, and explain how that environment got created. And then talk about what it's actually costing that company in terms of churn, team burnout, and sometimes even revenue. So let's give an example. Let's look at Notion. Incredible product, massive growth, huge market share. Everyone knows it. But over the past few years, they've added a lot more features, AI tools, databases, docs, project management, wikis. And for a lot of users, it's starting to feel like they added everything, which actually made it much harder to understand anything at all. So what happens? Customers sign up, they're super excited, they open the products, and then they're like, whoa, where do I even start? There's a lot going on here. And then your support team starts getting questions like, how do I use this? What is this even for? Do I need all of this? What's actually in my subscription? What am I paying for? Do I need all of this? Do you have a smaller subscription that I could possibly be a part of? Right? These are the questions that start coming in. Meanwhile, leadership is saying, we are shipping brand new products super fast. We're innovating and we are adding value to all of our customers. And then the customers are going, this just feels like a bunch of work. Feels like a bunch of tutorials I have to take. I need a PhD to operate this system. Not sure how much use I'm going to get out of this tool. And this isn't just happening at Notion. This is a pattern across SaaS companies. The average feature adoption rate is around 24%. And this means that most of what's being built is barely being used. So if your team is constantly shipping new products, but customers aren't adopting, support is explaining the same thing over and over, while your leadership is saying, we need to build more. You're not dealing with a product issue. You're in an environment that is known, and you are actually in the archetype that I would like to call the fragmented engine. And if that's you already know it, because these things are happening to you every day and you are trying to combat them. And you, like most other companies, make the mistake of trying to fix the symptoms. Let's get more tools. Let's add more people. Let's hire more. Let's get some more features in here. But what's happening is you're not actually changing the environment. So these patterns keep repeating itself. I've known some people who have worked for companies for years, and they're like, I'm still solving the same problem. It's because they're never solving the root cause. They're just repeating and staying in this environment. So here's the goal for you guys, everyone listening. By the end of this series, you won't just recognize these patterns. you'll know exactly where your company sits within the CX universe. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. And if you're already listening to this and thinking, yeah, I'm probably a fragmented engine, I don't know what a leaky bucket is, but I could be defined as it, right? You don't need to do any more guessing. And it's time for you to start looking into a diagnosis. So click the link in our descriptions for more information because you are ready for step 2. Because your company already has a zodiac sign. The only question is, are you building with it or are you being broken by it? It's up to you to answer that question. And welcome to the CX universe.
Thanks for watching the CX universe. If something in your company feels off, but you can't explain why, take the CX diagnostic quiz below.